One of the massive struggles with running your own business is holding yourself accountable for things like mistakes, deadlines, and other vital pieces of work when running your own business. Join us today as we discover best ways to hold yourself accountable. What do you need improvement in?
Just want to go through and win.
What is the purpose of overthinking? You're taking care of your loved one. That's how you can increase your sales.
What's up, everybody? This is Faris.
And this is Faris Flournoy, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with the Homecare Guyz. And today, we have an amazing episode. We're talking about accountability.
Caleb, most people don't like accountability, bro.
They don't.
Who likes that? Like, naturally, nobody likes accountability.
Yeah, it's all about responsibility. But before we dive into our combo, Faris, how's your week? How's your weekend?
Man, I had the funniest thing that happened on yesterday. So shout out to my son. My son turned 2 years old on yesterday. So Faris Flournoy the fourth.
Come on,
actually
fourth?
turned 2 years old. So shout out, love him to death. He's an amazing, he's amazing. He's funny.
I just waste some coffee on my shirt, Faris. Oh my goodness, keep going. We're gonna keep on going.
Exactly. Man,
look, oh my goodness, it's
right
horrible.
Look,
and I got on my beard, but it's okay.
you
But go ahead. Happy birthday, Mac.
Exactly. We call him Mac, and I don't know. Well, I know I call him Mac from Mac Computer, but that's a whole. We'll talk about that in another episode. But Caleb, the funniest thing happened yesterday. We went to the daycare. And we brought some little cupcakes and some little treats for the kids there.
Right.
And Mac is 2 years old. He's 2 years old. So we were out there giving out the cupcakes, and the teacher was helping us as well. And it was so funny. These kids were tearing up these cupcakes, and they can't talk that well. They're 2 years old. And so one little kid actually ate the cupcake and ate the little mini. It's a mini cupcake, small one, so it's no harm, no danger, nothing like that.
Right.
Ate the cupcake and ate the paper. And so we were going through and actually trying to pick up like the plates and everything. We were like, "Where's your cupcake paper?" He just looked at us like we were supposed to eat the whole thing.
Oh my goodness.
It was too funny. My wife and I, we could not stop laughing after we left there.
Oh,
and I was like, he's
Lord.
gonna poop it out anyway, so no harm, no foul.
Yeah, that's good. Well, happy birthday. So Mac turned 2 years old.
2 years old.
So
yeah.
we call him Mac, and we also call him Mr. President.
Mr. President, Faris, Leo. He got so many.
He
names.
got so many
Hopefully
names.
we don't confuse him.
He's gonna be like, who am I again right
Exactly.
now? Right.
But Caleb, how was your weekend, man?
Weekend was amazing. What did I do this weekend? This weekend. So, we're working on renovation projects here at Prime Care. And so I've been here. Everything is looking smooth. We are opening up offices, and we pretty much kind of got some new glass entrances. Those are beautiful. I can't wait till we do a big reveal.
Yes.
And so hopefully by the end of August, we get everything squared away for our office reveal and having all the staff to come back. But yeah, we've been excited. I've been really kind of working my butt off, man, with these renovation projects here.
And it looks amazing. I'm super excited about seeing the end product. We have an amazing team that's helping us out from the design to the construction we put a lot on people, but my thing is we're looking for the end product. It's going to be deliver a great product. So
Exactly.
I cannot wait to go through and actually create this home for our team. That's what I'm thinking about.
And I like what you're saying. This is going to be one of our regional offices.
Yes,
and so this is right now we're trying to get everything ready and everything designed and looking real nice for our team. So let's dive into our podcast today about accountability. And Faris, I guess the first question I want to ask you is, what is your take on accountability? What is your take on accountability at work and probably your accountability at work and pretty much personally?
Yeah. I think when I think about accountability, I think about checks and balances. I think about because it's almost like how we have things set up in the judicial system in Congress and everything. You have your executive, you have your judicial, you have your legislative branch.
Right.
It's the checks and balances to make sure we're holding accountable, because I think that all the power, no one should have all the power in their hands, because that's when you have all that power, that means accountability is only to yourself. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, everything is right. Everything is perfect. And so when I think of accountability, I think of having something or someone or a system to go through and ensure that, okay, what's supposed to happen happens. The checks and balances to make sure that we stay on the straight and narrow. So I think accountability, Caleb, is so crucial, and I think it's so underappreciated. Accountability allows us to grow.
Right.
Because imagine if we were not held accountable for anything, we'll only be able to grow as far as we think in our own mind that we can grow as well. So accountability is crucial. I cannot wait to dive into this conversation, man. What's your thoughts on accountability? Initial thoughts.
I like your take on the checks and balances and how you use those different branches of government, the executive, legislative, and the judicial branch. I kind of think of accountability, especially when it comes down to our organization, is our regulatory organization is Department of Community Health.
Correct.
And so pretty much having a responsible party or a responsible system of government that you are required to report to and to follow.
Yes.
And so I think accountability is so important. And I think that the more detailed your procedures, your systems are, or what the regulatory governments or agencies tell you have to follow by, the more accountable you need to be, or what you at least know what you need to be accountable for.
Exactly.
And so I think that accountability is so important. It's pretty much taking responsibility for your actions and pretty much having a point of contact or a regulatory body to uphold and make sure that you're enforcing and doing what you need to be doing.
Yeah. And Ken, I think when it comes to accountability happens at all levels, on a professional level, on a personal level, spiritual level. Accountability, just like you said, for us as an organization, we have regulatory systems that the state actually mandate.
Right.
Who holds the marriage accountable? Who holds the person accountable? These are things where I feel like when it comes to diving into the conversation, I'm going to make sure we stick with our notes because we have some great notes.
Yes.
Ways you can hold yourself accountable when necessary. I think a lot of times, I know my wife and I, we're one unit, but our accountability sometimes is our marriage counselor. Because now the set standards or the set tools that's been given, he's able to go through and make sure that we are working towards the common goal that we have to get to where we're going. So accountability comes in all forms for us in a personal level, marriage counseling, personal counseling, calendars. What are some tools that you feel when it comes to accountability?
I have a few things that when it comes down to holding myself accountable, and I want to kind of read one or two of them, is knowing your role. You need to understand your responsibilities and what you're accountable for.
Yes.
Another thing is be honest.
Yes.
Be honest with yourself. Can you do a task? When you say, when people say, be accountable for your actions, and you make all of these overly abused promises that you say you're going to do something and you don't do it. So you really need to be honest with yourself. Can you do that? If you say, I'm going to go to the Braves game on Saturday, and you already have obligations, you need to be accountable for that.
Correct.
And so don't commit to it. Say you're sorry. That's important, Faris. I think that sometimes when you don't, when you can't live up to what you say or be accountable for, you need to recognize that and acknowledge that, I did wrong and I'm sorry for that.
And accountability comes in all forms. And I like that you said that, because it's not just accountability on the external point, it's accountability with yourself. And accountability means sometimes saying no, just like you said, don't
overcommit it. Yep,
not
that's another one.
Overcommitting yourself.
Yeah.
That's accountability, because what happens is once you commit yourself and now you're not accountable because no one's going to go through and tell you to get up out of bed to go somewhere. Right. Now it's a domino effect. It's a domino effect on that. And I think that accountability is what accountability aligns with success. No one who's successful does. Everyone who's successful has some type of accountability checks and balance. Right. Whether it be a mentor, whether it be a system, whether it be a circle of individuals, coach, they have something or someone that's going to hold them accountable as well.
And I also think, lastly, Faris, it's so important for you to reflect. After you don't overcommit, you take a responsibility for your actions. I think you also need to take some time to reflect on, how did this, how was my level of accountability? Was I really responsible? Did I fail at this area? And you take that time to reflect, to really kind of make sure that you're in sync, so your next decisions are going to be important and you can be accountable for those actions that you make in the future. And so I think you're taking the time to reflect is important as well.
Caleb, I want to go through and kind of transition over to a career path as well. So when it comes to accountability, as far as in a career, I think I can reflect back when I had my marketing agency. I mean, I was eagerly desiring to grow the agency and I knew that I knew what I knew, and I knew what I didn't know as well. And so sometimes I would go through and commit myself, I would overcommit myself to different projects to go through and actually appease someone. Like some people say, "Hey, Faris, can you go through and develop an app? Can you go through and do a website? Can you go through and do some Facebook ads? Can you do this?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes, 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 yes." And what happened was on the back end, I was getting stressed out. Could I do it? Yes, with time, but I didn't have the capacity to do all of that at that appointed time. And so no one held me accountable because I was the owner of the company. I didn't have no checks and balances. I could say yes because this is my time. I could do what I want to do.
Right.
But I see where accountability would have been crucial because someone is saying, or having a system or a team to go through and say, well, hey, no, we can't do all of this. Our specialty is this. That would have saved me so much stress. That would have go through that would have made more relationships with the people that I was working along with, because I know I burnt some bridges with working with some individuals because I just could not deliver within the time frame they needed.
Right.
And I may not have had the capacity to go through and do everything they needed, but I said yes. So accountability goes through and preserves your name.
You know what? And that's actually that moment to reflect.
It is.
You know, it's like, was I overly committing myself? You know, did I get burned out? Can I really take on these tasks and these jobs? And so, yeah, that's your moment to reflect.
Exactly.
And accountability is important. I think when it comes down to success fairs, even with us with starting Prime Care, there's a lot of things that we had to be accountable for. And then one thing that the government does, especially Department of Community Health, they have things that you call surveys and audits to make sure that you are accountable.
Yes.
And so, especially if you are in the healthcare business or if you are in any kind of regulatory business, or you're going to be surveyed. And so they want to make sure that everything that you have agreed to say initially, with orientating staff and hiring clients, servicing clients, they want to make sure that you are accountable. You are following the rules, following the regulations, and you're compliant. And so that's what accountability is. And so that check and balance is so important, that you take time to really reflect, take the time to really not overly commit to adding new clients when you can't really take them, to hire employees before you get all the credentials. You don't want to do all those things. And so it's important with that. And I think that our success with Prime Care there has been some levels of accountability that we had to really reflect on.
Yes.
We had to really kind of decide on, I think we need to market in this area and grow this area, because we don't want to overly commit to a certain thing, or the future growth can be so rapid that we just lose the business.
Exactly.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you taking care of an elderly or disabled loved one in your own home? Then I've got some news for you. Hello, I'm Crystal DeForest, and I'm a health coach with Prime Care Home Care. I have been with them for a year now, but for the past 2.5 years, Prime Care Home Care has been helping some individuals take care of their loved ones that are elderly or disabled in their own home and getting them paid. If you would like to find out some more information on that and to see if you qualify, then give me a call at 706-540-3847. Remember me for SFC. Call Crystal at 706-540-3847.
I think sometimes, like for people that's not in regulatory businesses, et cetera, and even as we did as well, sometimes you have to create your own internal systems to hold yourself accountable. Because yes, the government may say this, or yes, the speed limit says don't go over 55, but you have to go through and think about how do I go through and create internal checks and balances to hold myself accountable. And so, Caleb, one thing that I know that we've done in our business to hold ourselves accountable is knowing the regulations at the top level and superseding them. Meaning, if the state says do this every 60 days, we do ours every 55 days to make sure we supersede that.
Right.
That's the accountability that we put on our team to make sure that we remain compliant. And I think a lot of times in life and in business, it's the same way. I was listening to something the other day, and let's say if a person has a problem with keeping their house clean. One of the examples said, well, hey, just make sure you invite someone over to your house, because you know that, okay, well, before they get to the house, you're going to go through and clean your house before they get there.
That's true.
So if for some reason you don't like to cook or eat out every day, but you want to eat more healthier, go through and invite someone over for dinner a couple times a week, and that's going to force you to go. That's accountability. That person's coming to eat, but you're going to go through and make sure you take time to prepare a meal. So sometimes the accountability can be something that we put on ourselves to make sure that we succeed in life as well.
Right.
So have there been any points in life where you reflect and said, you know what, this is what I did, because I know if it was left to my own accord, it would take me forever to do this. But hey, I went through and did X, Y, and Z to make sure I got the results that I desired.
Well, I think initially, even with physical health, like I got a trainer, and initially, you know, I think maybe for the first few months it went great.
Yes.
You know, being accountable, but you know, but then I realized, you know, maybe I was over committed because my schedule was still kind of you know, hectic. Like I made, you know, everybody, you make time for what you want to make time for. But pretty much, I know that my schedule was a little bit overcommitted from work and my responsibilities that I had at home. And so, but I realized that, you know, that's one thing that I was trying to be accountable is with my health. And so I hired a coach, and the coach told me I had to be here at a certain time. I had to work on these exercises. And so I did that for a while, and then I pretty much kind of fell through. And I'm like, you know what, I don't know if I can do this right now consistently. And so
let's pause right there, because I think that's something we can all relate to. We can all relate to committing ourselves to something, then finding
an excuse.
My wife and I, we were talking about, you have excuses or options.
Yeah,
you have excuses or options in life. You can make an excuse to say I don't have the time, or you have the option to go through and find ways to create time for the things that are important as well.
That's important right there. That's a gem that you just hit.
And so that's one thing is, and I went through the same thing. I'm hiring a personal trainer actually, and I think we talked about goals on one of the episodes. Check out our first of all, go through and stop right now. Give us a thumbs up. Go through and put a comment and go ahead and subscribe right now. Go ahead and do it now. Okay, now we'll get back to the conversation. One of our other previous episodes, we talked about goals as well. And a goal without a date is just a wish. And so I actually will be enrolled into a personal trainer on the 15th of this month. Going through
you about to have some guns now.
Oh man, y'all about to see me grow right before your eyes.
Yes.
And so, but when I'm committed, because now I'm committed to my physical health,
right,
and I have accountability, I have a coach for that. Next, I have a personal coach when it comes to life and business. I have a coach for that. So sometimes when it's on my own accord, I may not have anything accountable. But when I'm committed to something, I have to put things in place that other people can hold me accountable for. Because just like I said in my last example, when I owned my marketing company, I was the head. Nobody could tell me what to do because this is my life, this is my business. Right. But when I go through and actually invest in other people to make sure I'm held accountable, I get results that I desire to go through and receive as well. So again, like when you're saying you didn't have time, it's excuses or options.
I like that.
The options is to go through and not say I'm going to go through and put my health on the back burner. It's to go through and say, well, now I need to go through and find ways to manage my schedule so that I can include all the things that I need to go through and do as well.
I love that. Oh my goodness, that's a big takeaway. I think that's one of my takeaways. I'm going to say that because especially being accountable, being responsible for your actions, you know, you either have excuses or you have options.
Yep.
You know, and excuses, you can say, you know what, I think I just can't do it right now. And you don't do it.
Yep, exactly.
You know, that's how you have excuse with, you know, especially I remember going in college with the right papers. And so I used to always have an excuse. You know, I used to always, I can't do it because it's a party tonight. Or, you know, I can't do that because I want to go out and go shopping or whatever I want to do, you know. And so that's the excuse, but you could get it done if you wanted to. That's an option. So you have to, I like that, Faris. I think I think it's amazing. Well, let's wrap it up, man. This is a great episode about accountability. And guess what, guys? I want you to realize that you can, you know, you have to be accountable for your actions. You know, in order to be successful, you have to be accountable.
Yes.
All right. And so there's just like you said, Faris, you're going to end it with excuses or options. You know, you can either say I have an excuse, or you can really kind of create an option to make yourself accountable.
Exactly, Caleb. Man, this is an amazing episode. I hope you guys got some information from it. Again, if you did get any value from it, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you go through and subscribe, like, and go through and make sure you comment below.
Yes.
To let individuals, tag someone as well. We would be grateful for that as well. Tag someone to let them know about the Homecare Guyz. Again, follow us on all platforms. Make sure that you are tuned in each Tuesday and Thursday for new content that drops every week. And we just appreciate all the love, support that we've shown. We got some amazing stuff that's coming along down the line that we cannot wait to go through and actually disclose to you guys. But the Homecare Guyz is up and at it. We're moving forward. We are excited about continuing to service you in the community as well.
Yes. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. See you next week.